Hey guys, welcome to this biggest gap year where Robin and I a couple of years ago did 365 days of 365 activities in New Zealand. But if you didn't see the previous episode which showed day 21 of this adventure we did, we'll just give you a quick overview of what happened. Basically, our motorhome that we bought second hand in Auckland completely was had loads of rust on it. It was not safe to drive around the country. And once we figured this out, we basically had to leave it at a panel beaters for a couple of days. But in the meantime, we are going back to Auckland to go and get ourselves a camper van from Jucy, which is a really big camper van company in New Zealand, and just rent this sort of camper van for a couple of days so that we can continue our adventures. So yeah, today's not exactly really about an activity, but I hope it sort of gives an idea of what can happen like with second-hand camper vans when they break down, but also give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to rent a camper van from a company like Jucy. So enjoy the video, and at the end of the video we'll go through a few more comments and questions about Jucy camper vans. So let's get into it. Plan is Robin's going to take the intercity bus up to Auckland Airport, where he's going to pick up the Jucy camper van, drive all the way back from Auckland Airport to Hamilton, and then we're going to transfer all the stuff we need for 2 weeks from our old shitty camper van into our nice new Jucy camper van. That's the plan, and amazingly enough, we've come up with this plan within less than 24 hours, so we are on it.
It's about to be a really big day, and Laura is going to stay behind and do a lot of work on the computers to catch up, because we've been pretty behind yesterday since, you know.
I'm on the laptop, I've got some social media to schedule, I've got a post to write, some photos to Photoshop. What else do I do? Oh yeah, I write an article for the guide. I actually have quite a productive morning/afternoon.
There's a great thing between Hamilton and Auckland. It's $20 for the bus ticket, and something amazing happens in the bus. There is free Wi-Fi, and it actually works really well. I did not have a single disconnection. I connected onto it within like 20 seconds, and I actually got a lot done on the computer. So I'm doing my little walk to the Jucy depot, where I arrived and being greeted by the lovely staff over there. Surprisingly, there were almost no one around, so I actually had plenty of time to have a chat with them, grab a glass of water. I even sat down and ate my orange on the beanbags. I get a little tour of the Jucy camper, which is pretty neat actually. It's actually really big. It's really well appointed. There's like USB plugs, there's actual plugs, and there's like a top part, there's a bottom part, there's a full kitchen, there's a toilet, there's everything it needs. It's pretty awesome. And it's easy to drive, and it's automatic, and I get a full-on tour of it.
Right, so Jucy have been real heroes, giving us a camper for the next 2 weeks. So this is what we're going to be driving. It is called a Jucy Condo. It is pretty spacious actually, more spacious than what I thought. It is automatic, so I love that.
So off we go on the road. So I'm on my Jucy camper. Man, it's party time. I'm just putting the rock radio and I'm like having a good time. I'm dancing, I'm driving through. I just feel good. We have many set downs, but it's part of the adventure, and we overcame all of them very quickly. I've been driving for like 2 hours. I've been sitting in the bus for 2 hours again. I need some stretching, and I really advise that to anyone driving around New Zealand. If you feel like you need to stretch a little bit, stop 10 minutes.
So he arrives
in his suave, juicy camper van right up to the camper van next to us because we need to do some transferring of some shit later. And he gets out and he seems pretty happy, pretty stoked about the drive over and how the camper van was surprisingly bigger than he expected, so that's always a bonus. So at this point it's about 3:30. Phil's paint and panel close at 4. Now we're in a mad rush to transfer everything from our old camper van to our new Jucy camper van, which is absolutely chaotic because we're just trying to do this as quickly as possible without forgetting anything. And obviously because we're working from a camper van, if we forget something important, we are screwed. We are downsizing majorly to fit everything in the Jucy camper van, and we think like, oh shit, it's not gonna all fit, but it does fit. Yay! There's plenty of room in the Jucy camper van. Despite it looking quite small from the outside, it's surprising like the use of space all within the camper van. We can use like the top bedding area to put some of our equipment up there, and in the back, in the kitchen area, there's lots of space. And on the walls, we have places to place our clothes. So yeah, it's really space efficient in this camper van. So we're pretty happy with what we've got. We're just picking up the last of our stuff to put into the Jucy camper van. It's been a mad rush because they're going to pack up in 2 seconds. And now we are driving to the small village of Arapuni, to the only backpackers in the area actually, which is close to Putaruru. And we arrive just after 6:30 to Arapuni Backpackers, where we are greeted by Steve and his lovely wife Lorraine. Right, tomorrow we're going to go back on track. Things are going to get back to as normal as they can get on a backpacking adventure, and yeah, let's see what happens.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video and hope you got to see a little bit about sort of like the transport options really about travelling in New Zealand. You got to see Robin on the Intercity bus, which is the main bus network around New Zealand, and also picking up a camper van for a couple of weeks that we're going to be having while our the camper van that we've bought is actually in repair. So we got a question from Kiwi Vanman saying, so what are the camper vans like with Jucy? Are they good quality? Let us know more. So yeah, the camper van that we got with Jucy was really good quality. All their camper vans are sort of custom made, and they do sort of new camper vans, I think every couple of years or so, where they upgrade some of the designs and things like that. We were really impressed by sort of just how much these camper vans utilize such a small space. You could fold up the bed, you could bring out the tables and chairs and stuff. So that was really cool. And also, even though we had quite a lot of stuff that we had because our motorhome that's in repair is significantly bigger than the camper van that we just rented from Jucy, we actually managed to fit most of the stuff in pretty well into the Jucy camper van. And these camper vans that we got, like the higher Ace model that we have in this video, it surprisingly can fit 4 people to sleep in, which honestly, I would say that 4 people might be a little bit too cramped in one of these camper vans. Personally, for me, I think this is a good size camper van for a couple or 2 friends traveling or something like that. So I think this sort of just, for me, it sort of made me realize that although camper van companies say they can fit, 6 people in a small camper van and stuff, I think it's always best to like take 2 people off the sort of number of people that can sleep in it. If you just -2, that's usually the most comfortable amount of people to have in that camper van. So yeah, for these types of Jucy camper vans, I definitely would recommend just 2 people staying in those, and then you have loads of space and it's pretty comfortable. Alright, I hope I hope that video was useful. If you do have any questions of your own, make sure to put them in the comments below. And any of your questions that we think we can sort of give you a really in-depth answer to, we make videos about those during our live Q&A session, which we do every single Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time here on YouTube. And also on that live Q&A session, you can come and ask your own questions on the live chat, which is always a fun thing to do. And also you can go on nzpocketguide.com and check out thousands of articles about traveling in New Zealand, and actually quite a lot of articles about buying a camper van in New Zealand and renting a camper van in New Zealand. Honestly, we have a lot of experience in that now, so yeah, we have quite a few tips to share with you guys. Alright then, until the next episode, see you later.